Selamat. Stay Tigray. What's up, guys? How are you? It's been a few days, so I'm gonna just have a quick discussion with you guys, but I'm playing music until people trickle in. Welcome to Cyberpunk Tigray. Hey guys, good evening if you are in the Western US, late night in the East Coast, good morning throughout the world. So welcome to Cyberpunk of Tigray. I am your host, Mike Casahun. Hopefully I will be as brief as I can to just give you a quick update what's going on. I haven't been on Cyber for a few days. My buddy Ephraim was going to join me tonight, but he got called into work, so he is busy working. He's a busy man, so I understand that. I respect that. He does a lot of work, so we appreciate him. So Abi Ahmed, Ashrafat Ahmed, as many of you know him as, is now paying tens of thousands of dollars for people to go on social media and to unleash tens of thousands of false propaganda online. So I'm going to let you guys throw in your questions, comments on that. I'm going to pick the best ones and post them. But we're going to talk about that in Tigray. So here's what's happening. Eritrea has been told to get out of Tigray, and it was given 72 hours, same as the Amhara militia by the United States of America. That actually expired today. What is the U.S. doing now? We're going to talk about that. What's going to happen? In the meantime, what is Tigray Defense Force doing right now in Tigray? That's another discussion we're going to have. In Western Tigray, Amhara militia are actually removing many Tagaru from their homes and replacing them with Amharas to say that this land belongs to them, which is pretty dangerous move. We know the atrocity, the genocide, all of those things. So I'm going to kind of throw in a few things in there for you guys. And today was Women's International Day. So the wonderful women and young girls of Tagaru who went out, protested in various cities across the United States, across the world. Thank you so much. I know there was one in Portland, Oregon. That's my hometown. I know there was one in LA, Denver, Colorado, Washington, D.C. Thank you so much. The women in Washington, D.C. actually went to the Chinese embassy and protested in front of the Chinese embassy. So that's like really double protesting. We love you, sisters and moms and aunts and all of you ladies today for what you did in front of the Chinese embassy. So we're going to remind the Chinese that atrocity is taking place in Tigray, and they must support resolution on Thursday. The United Nations is meeting up on Thursday to discuss about the Tigray genocide, the Amhara militia and the Amhara Fana and Eritrean mercenaries to get out of Tigray. Okay. 4 months later, they still think they can defeat Tigray Defense Forces. They can't. So what do? When they can't, they attack civilians. So the Amhara, who have the audacity to support a killer, a dictator, are actually preparing to go out and protest tomorrow. Excuse me. Well, yes, tomorrow. It's late night, so it's basically the 9th now. For some of you, it's the 8th. So on the 10th, they are going to show their true color to go out and protest, while the Oromo in the south are being massacred, while the Beshangul Gamas is being killed, and then most of the Amhara land, blessing to Sudan, Sudan is kicking their butts and taking territory that the Amhara aren't actually saying anything. But when it comes to Tigray, they brag how they were heroes, how they were good soldiers and fighters, and they talk about the victory of Adwa. That's funny, because last time I checked, which wasn't just too long ago, just right before I came to the show, the map still shows Adwa still remains in Tigray. So which one is it, Amhara? Which one is it? You want to celebrate about Adwa? You want to talk about your history about Adwa? That's not your history. You can't buy a history. Show us, you Amhara who are in the show right now commenting, tell me and show the audience what war have you fought by yourself and won as a good fighter? Because you're not. You simply are not. So when I come here to expose you, to speak the truth, you will never silence me. You will never silence Tagaro. You know what, actually, I'm going to tell you, thank you for uniting Tagaro. I know it's a difficult time for us as Tagaro to see young girls being raped, mothers crying, because that's what weak man does. That's what weak leader does. A weak person attacks people who are defenseless, like young girls, like old ladies, right? That's what a weak person does. And that's what Abi Ahmed and Isaias Afwerki are. And those of you puppets around who have the audacity to argue, no, the people of Tigray, actually, they're not just generous, they're kind, they're respectful, they're loving, they're forgiving. Given even what you are doing to them right now, to the Tigray people in Tigray, I saw the other day, which pissed me off, that they don't want to do eye for an eye. They don't want the soldiers who are captured to be beaten up by pissed off Tagaru. So they actually helped them. They fed them. They clothed them. You wouldn't do that. The victory of Adwa does not belong to Ethiopia. The victory of Adwa belongs to Tigray. Okay? Tagaru fought and bled and defended Ethiopia's in Tigray. So Adwa is a history of Tigray, and you will never have the opportunity to put your feet on the soil of Adwa. You, meaning all you Amhara, you will never. That history, goodbye. Say goodbye to it. You made the choice to discriminate against Tagaru, to massacre Tagaru. In return, we say goodbye to you. We don't need you. We don't need you anywhere in Tigray. And Adwa is deep in the hearts of Tigray. Mekelle is deep in the hearts of Tigray. Zalambesa, Yaha, Wukro, Dagarbi, Nabaret. Name it all. I can go on and on and on, right? Shire, Aksum, Amhara. That's deep in the hearts of Tigray. We at Tigray, as a Tagaru, we just want to be left alone. But I'm going to stay calm. For those of you, Amhara, I want to educate you. I don't think you will ever learn. But the blood of Tagaru will not be lost in vain. The tear of Tagaru, young girls and mothers, will not be in vain. That's not a threat. I'm just letting you know. It will not be lost in vain. It will not be like what happened last time. When you try to come join us in the end, we will tell you, turn around and get the hell out of our faces. We'll make sure we'll build the great nation of Tigray, and we don't need you. What we need of you is actually to stay the hell away from Tigray. Stay the hell away from Tagaru. See, when you support a dictator, when you cheer a child being raped by Eritrean soldiers, it shows. Like this Eritrean protected lady, how disgusted could she be? As a woman, how does it feel? What's happening? A girl just a few days ago was raped by 23 Eritrean soldiers. How would you feel if that happened to you? Eritrean protector? You as a woman? How would you feel if that happened to you? How would you feel if that happened to your mother? Ask yourself a question. The war, we're not worried about. The war fighting, your mercenaries cannot defeat the Tigray Defense Forces. They say in 3 days, it's been 4 months. And they're getting crushed. But the victims are civilians in Tigray. So you, based on your photo in this room, I see you're a woman, and it's cruelty. It's inhumane. Anyone, doesn't matter what nationality you are. 100,000 Eritrean refugees were protected in Tigray. But you won't believe that either, because when you see black, you will argue, say, no, I saw brown. I saw, well, brown is close actually. I saw white. I saw something totally the opposite, right? Because that's pretty much how your brain works. If you got a brain, obviously, because anyone who's got a brain wouldn't argue to a genocide. So that's sort of a little bit off topic what I wanted to talk about. But when I see a few of the Eritreans coming here for attention, a few of the Amhara coming in here trying to comment, you know, we have some good Eritreans who's been out fighting with Tagaru. So I'm not going to generalize to the people of Eritrea, but I'm going to generalize to the mercenaries of Hegdef and the rest of Shabia. You will pay a price for your atrocity, because we will not forget what you did. We will not forget what you're doing. And the rest of the chicken Ethiopians who never fought a war and won a war, you brought Shabia as your friend? Are you kidding me? You want to make Shabia a friendship? You don't even have a land that connects you with them. But you think we are so delusional that we want to believe you, that you try to make friendship with Eritrea? I don't think so. Anyway, why am I wasting my time on with you on this? I think I will move on. So, Abi Ahmed is crying, and I'll show you a clip how he's crying. So for those of you who understand Amharic, in a sec, I'll show you a video. But before I show you that video, I want to kind of talk to you about 48 hours of Twitter campaign is what we're doing right now, demanding the U.S., the European Union, the United Nations, and all relevant world leaders to stand up to take military action against Eritrea. That's right, military action against Eritrea. What does that mean? Do the same thing what you did in 1997 in Kosovo. Bomb Eritrea's infrastructure from Sawa to Asmara Airport to Isaias Afwerki's palace to Eritrean television station. You dismantle those, you destroy those. Then you go targets of military areas throughout Eritrea and in Tigray. That will decimate you, Shabia, and you will be buried live when bombs drop over your head just like rain. So that's actually the direct language that we're going to use and that we are using. We want action. The 72 hours is over. And if you think that what the United States of America said is going to be bluffing, you have said before, Isaias, your dictator, that getting out of Badame was just kind of the sun will never come out of whatever. Anyway, when the sun sets, it will never come out is kind of the translation from Tigray into English. But I think what Tagaro have done is they've shaken the world. They are making Abi Ahmed cry. I will say beyond that, but I'll be professional, because this is not just like a Facebook chat. This is actually where we're trying to be, remain professional. This is actually a media outlet, licensed media outlet, Cyber Power of Tigray. We operate through Facebook, YouTube, but it is an actual media. And ask yourself why we call ourselves Cyber Power of Tigray. By the way, for many of you who follow us through Wayane, we would love for you guys to start joining us through Cyber Power of Tigray on Facebook and mainly on YouTube. So we would like to eventually merge Wayane into our YouTube channel. So I know there's many of you do follow us on Wayane, which is one of our channel. So eventually we would like to merge you into one of our main ones. YouTube will be ideal that we would love for you to join. But if you're a Facebook person and you want to do that, you could also join us on Cyber Power of Tigray on Facebook. So that's just an update information. But Isaias Afwerki's days are numbered. Let's just put it that way. His days are numbered. It is a matter of time before he's back. He's out. Okay, so why am I saying that? Well, it's very clear where the U.S. is headed. Okay, what U.S. action, U.S. word is not just words spoken. U.S. word is words spoken and followed by action. For those of you who don't understand what I'm saying, I'm not going to waste my time to explain it to you. But if you think you're going to see Isaias Afwerki in 2022, or in fact, by the summer of 2021, well, I will say, let me just leave it there, okay? But just prepare for your mourn when you lose Isaias Afwerki. Okay? Those of you who worship him, say goodbye to him soon, because he ain't going to be around for that long. An old dog, you know what they say, you cannot teach an old dog a new trick. So those of you who follow Brother Jeff, I had the opportunity to meet Brother Jeff on Monday. We had a great discussion. So those of you good Tagaro and Americans and Europeans and Australians and people from all over the world, please follow Cyber Power of Tigray. Please follow Brother Jeff, who's dedicated and speaking the truth until justice is prevailed for the people of Tigray, for the great people of Tigray. So on Monday, I met up with him and he put together a wonderful clip of facts, which I was honored to participate in that video. So for those of you who have not seen that video, I'm going to show you a portion of it, and then I'm going to go into my other topics. I might come back and show you more of it. If you're interested, let me know. But here is a clip that Brother Jeff, lovely Brother Jeff, put together to support the people of Tigray. And we love you. We appreciate you, Brother Jeff. You are an amazing person. And we genuinely, Tigray Americans, Tagaro, all over the world, including in Tigray, love you, appreciate you. We can't wait to embrace you in Tigray soon when Tigray prevails. So here's a clip. For those of you who may not have seen it, that's me, proud Tigrawi, with my Tigray gear. I was coming back from DC. So on my way back from DC, I had the opportunity to meet with him in Denver.
The sad reality is when the world looked at the young leader in 2018, April 2018, there was a hope. Many of us felt like, okay, he's going to really be leader for the people. Turned out to be the worst in the history of Ethiopia, actually. So I was born in the Derg era. I left the country because of the civil war. And I never thought in my lifetime as a Tigrayan American to see this kind of atrocity. It's not an allegation. It's actually a reality that my people, the Tigray people in Tigray, have faced rape, the atrocity throughout the region in Tigray for nearly 4 months now, since November 4th, 2020. Electricity has been shut off. Corridor has been completely shut off. Ethiopia, Isaias Afwerki joined Ethiopia, which was a rivalry between Tigray and Eritrea from previous wars and whatnot, but not necessarily when we look at deeply within the people. I don't think that was the issue. I think more the issue was the elite within Eritrea, within the Amhara, which is they're called the Amhara militia, and then you have the Amhara fauna that simply felt that Tigray unity was a threat to their ability to control the region and to simply have one dictator in Addis Ababa. And in return, 500,000 troops were deployed to Tigray, Somalian troops, Eritrean troops, Amhara militia, Amhara fauna, the federal troops from various regions of Ethiopia to just one region. The sad reality is Tigray is and was part of Ethiopia. So to have an outsider, and to mention also, United Arab Emirates, an Arab country that has no borders with Ethiopia, with Eritrea, with anything in Africa, deploy drones to kill civilians within Tigray.
Truth is stranger than fiction, especially when you consider the fact that Abi Ahmed, the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, received a Nobel Peace Prize, and now the world is looking at Ethiopia as it relates to a possible genocide. It's hard to reconcile the two in one individual. And what's very interesting is the fact that Abi Ahmed traveled to Eritrea at a time where there had been a long ongoing conflict between the two nations, and they made peace. At the same time, you would wonder what were they discussing, because now you have Eritrean troops inside of Ethiopia attacking Ethiopian citizens.
This war has turned into a humanitarian crisis on levels that have been unseen for a long time.
These are some of the concerns that we're hearing, and most disturbingly are the actual reports that are coming out that are documenting massacres, genocide, rape, starvation, the attacking of fleeing residents that are seeking refuge, hospitals that are being destroyed, medicines that are being taken, and just an entire humanitarian crisis. This is not being documented by me, Brother Jeff. This is being said by Doctors Without Borders, UNICEF, the Amnesty International. You have President Biden calling for a stop of the war. You have Vice President Kamala Harris talking about a grave concern for humanitarian abuses. And so the world is watching.
Well, the Tigray crisis, obviously, is very sad. It's very unfortunate. It is based on Abi Ahmed of Ethiopia, who was an interim prime minister up until May of 2020, or up until October. But in May, election was supposed to be held in Ethiopia. The prime minister refused to hold an election, which is against the constitution. Regional states then are within their national constitution to uphold a regional election, which is what Tigray did in Mekelle, in the state of Tigray, which is the northern part of Ethiopia. So upon the election, the result was clear. Dr. Debretsion has won the election to lead the regional state of Tigray in Ethiopia, which does not have any interference with the federal system. For the past 2.5, almost 3 years, the Ethiopian government, however, has been plotting and preparing to attack the Tigray leadership simply because he deemed them as a threat to his dictatorship role in Ethiopia, to have one party, one government without a voice of the people in the country in Ethiopia.
Here we are 4 months into it, and things have not improved. There's been a complete communication blackout in the state of Tigray. There have been massacre after massacre after massacre within the state of Tigray. Our families, whenever they can get access and are able to get information out and video out and phone calls out, have called and told us as much. No one has been listening up until recently. There have been investigations by CNN, by Amnesty International, and other groups as well. The Guardian did a whole story about their investigation into the massacres in Tigray, and essentially have proven the things that our families have been telling us for several months. And that is that hundreds of people, hundreds and hundreds, in one case, over 700 people were killed in a church at one time. And that's just one example. That was the Aksum massacre.
The statement we came out with Amnesty International is not surprising because that was being told numerous times. With even there's a blockout information, there was blockout internet phone lines by the government Ethiopia purposely from the Tigray region when they start launching this atrocity to their own citizens. So Amnesty International even came late to say that because the Human Rights Watch has already put out that statement earlier on, but the Ethiopian government denying and also kind of blocked for any witness to come and to tell the story. So the Amnesty International took a huge step to go and even interviews those who are fleeing the Tigray region. And those, some of them are in a refugee camp, and that's like a fresh statement. So Amnesty International statement, this is not the end. This just is the beginning.
The movement, the Tigray diaspora, including myself, we mounted facts, not just like going out and just crying, but bringing out facts, what's happening on the ground, which forced the United Arab Emirates to finally stop bombing Tigray using the drones, but also finally the US is stepping up now with the new administration. But the calculation was you do it right the day after the election, which was November 3rd. We know that we had a US election and the attack took place to distract the world from seeing the massacre, what's happening. Aksum is an example. 800 or so people have been taken out of the Aksum Zion church and executed. So this is, again, it's not an allegation. It is an atrocity. 4.5 million people in Tigray are in need of immediate humanitarian assistance. This is not my word. These are words from the word community, such as Human Rights Watch, the United Nations, BBC. I mean, I can go on and on. Like well-known like media organizations have reported this over and over. The response from the world community has been extremely like slow and very sad. But more and more now that we are seeing the U.S., European countries are not only speaking up, but potentially headed towards an action. And that's really what at this point, we're not talking about what Tigray means, where Tigray is located, whether or not there's genocide. That is proven fact. But the reality is that, are we going to see another Rwanda, or are we going to step up and say enough is enough? Because when we saw what happened in Rwanda, 800,000 civilians were killed. And President Clinton, I remember, I was in high school at that time in California. He said, this will never, ever happen again on our watch. And I think for America, for my beloved country, this country, as an American myself, I want Americans to understand what's happening in Tigray is real. Young girls as young as 7 have been reported being gang raped by Eritrean, Amhara militia, and federal troops throughout Tigray. So these are the facts. So therefore, I think, when I hear a certain, media outlets like you being like cautious, it's great. But the fact is, let's open the corridor. Let's allow humanitarian aid to go to Tigray so that the atrocity that's happening in the villages that are not reported actually is worse than what we are hearing. Personally, I have, family. I have people throughout the region that, they would figure out a way to contact us. I'm not going to get specific for their safety, but I can tell you that in many villages throughout Tigray, they've taken out they've eaten all their cattle, which is most farmers. They survive on that. That's their wealth, right? And so therefore, eating their foods. And if they can't eat it, if they can't take it with them, they're destroying it. They're killing even animals that they cannot eat because the Eritrean troops are moving from one area to another. Towers now, within the last 5 days, most towers throughout the village in Tigray are dismantled, taken to Eritrea again. So what does that do? It completely eliminates communication. So even though Abi Ahmed, with all the pressure, just opened the electricity just briefly now, and internet was back. I mean, not internet, but telephone network was back. Eritrea just deployed more troops in the last 2-3 days into Tigray, while the United States of America says Eritrean troops and Amhara militia must leave Tigray.
All right. So you guys get the point. It's a good video. It's 18 minutes. I don't want to hold you all of it, but that was about 11 minutes. There's like 7 minutes left. If you wanted me to play it continuously, I will wait for you to post your comments. But in the meantime, I want to talk about a few other topics that I think for Tagaru, we woke up. We are united, and I'm inspired. I'm motivated with you, Tagaru. So there was a person who say that they need to be shown how to tweet. I would love for you to please reach out to me on Messenger, Facebook. Just look me up under Mike Casahun. My name is on the screen, obviously, so you can just look me up on Facebook. Send me a messenger message, and I'll reach out to you. I'll be more than happy to show you. So that's not a problem at all. Okay. So thank you for asking. We'll do that. Let's see. One person asked why there are many haters in the news here following us. I do see a few Eritreans who is venting, and that's okay. I'm not bothered by it because that's what idiots do. So what inspired me, I'm going to stay focused, is look, this young boy with this woman handing him the flag, and he's just taking it like a soldier, and he's a child. Respect to the flag of Tigray. Okay, I love this image. Love it, love it. So anyway, I want to show you guys that because I know it's been on Facebook for a few days now, but I felt like it was worth it. So Abi Ahmed, social media, he's crying like a wolf, right? He's crying, and he's paying like tens of thousands of dollars because we're crushing him. We mounted political pressure to his idiocy. He's an idiot. Okay. So as such, now he's complaining. So there's a 4-minute and 26-second clip video. Sadly, there are Eritreans who are joining us here, may not understand Amharic, but most Tagaru, we're smart. We understand Amharic pretty well. But the good Eritreans also would understand it. But I don't expect that from Eritrean Protector or the few. So here's the deal. I'm going to play this clip. Let's see. Apology. So that's not what I meant to do, but anyway. So let's see here if I can get it back. There we go. Oh, my bad. Okay. So I heard like there was no sound. Okay. My apologies, guys. So I will, you know what? I apologize if that was the case. So let me do this. Okay. So I'm going to do sound system check. Hopefully I'm going to get him back on, this idiot. So, okay.
Ethiopia.
I think I got the sound back now.
ከግራ ከቀኝ ከፊት ከኋላ መገመት በሚያዳግት ሁኔታ ትልቁም ትንሹም በከፍተኛ ደረጃ ተረባርቦ የተነሳባት ጊዜ ላይ እንገኛለን። የውሸት ፕሮፓጋንዳና ጥላቻ ንግግር ዋና ዓላማ የዛሬ 100 ምናምን ዓመት አልገዛም ብላ ለሌሎች አፍሪካ ሀገሮች ምሳሌ የሆነችው ሀገር አሁን ደግሞ ደህንነት አያስፈልገኝም፣ ብልጽግና እንሻለው፣ መለመን አልፈልግም፣ መስጠት እመኛለሁ እያለች ነውና እቺን ሀገር ካላቆምናት እዚህ ካልቀጭናት በስተቀረ አሁንም ለጥቁር ህዝቦች አርያ ትሆናለች የሚል ስጋት በሰፊው ይናፈሳል። ዛሬ ላረጋግጥላችሁ የምፈልገው ትልቅ ቢጮህ ትንሽ ቢጮህ ብዙ ውሸት ቢነገር ብዙ ውሸት ቢነዛ ትናንት አባቶቻችን ነፃነቷን የጠበቁትና ለጥቁር ህዝቦች ሁሉ አርያ ያደረጓት ኢትዮጵያ ዛሬም በልጆቿ ጥረት እና ትብብር በነፃ በሚሰጡ ጀግኖች ወጣቶች ታግዛ የብልጽግና ምሳሌ መሆንና የጥቁር ህዝቦችን አርያ ሆና ከልመና የምታወጣ ሀገር መሆኗን ምንም ምድራዊ ኃይል ሊያስቀረው የማይችል መሆኑን ላረጋግጥላችሁ ፈልጋለሁ። የዓለም ሚዲያ በአንድ ድምፅ ቢጮህ እኛ ኢትዮጵያውያን እይታችንን ከኢትዮጵያ ብልጽግና ላይ አናነሳም። ጆሮአችሁን፣ ልባችሁን፣ አእምሯችሁን ጠብቃችሁ ኢትዮጵያን ማላቅ፣ ኢትዮጵያን ማበልጸግ፣ ኢትዮጵያን መውደድና ለኢትዮጵያን በክብር መስዋዕት መሆን የኩራት ሁሉ ምንጭ እንደሆነ አውቃችሁ እንድታገለግሉ፣ እንድትጠብቋት፣ እንድታሻግሯት፣ ለሚመጡ ወጣቶች ተስፋ እንድትሆኑ፣ ላረጁት ደግሞ እረፍት እንድትሆኑ በድጋሚ አደራ ልላችሁ ፈልጋለሁ። ዛሬ የሀገር መከላከያ ሰራዊት፣ የፌዴራል ፖሊስ ብዙ ወጣቶች እንዲቀላቀሉት ይፈልጋል። ከቅርብና ከሩቅ ብዙ ኢትዮጵያን ለማጥፋት የሚፈልጉ ኃይሎች ስላሰፈሰፉ ራሱን ማጠናከር ይፈልጋል። ብዙዎች ወጣቶች ግን ወደ መከላከያ ሄደው በፈቃድ ለማገልገል ዝግጁ ከመሆን ይልቅ በፌስቡክ ይዋጋሉ፣ በፌስቡክ ያዋጋሉ። በፌስቡክ ነፃነታችንን መጠበቅ አንችልም። ዋጋ ከፍለን ራሳችንን ካልሰጠን በስተቀረ በያላችሁበት በምትናገሩትና በምትጽፉት የኢትዮጵያን ሕልውና ማስጠበቅ ስለማይቻል በጎ ፍቃድ በበጎ በነፃ ማገልገል ጠቃሚ እንደሆነ ሁሉ በመከላከያ በፖሊስ ሰራዊት ውስጥ ተሳትፈን ሀገራችንን መጠበቅና ሕልውናዋን የሚገዳደሩ ኃይሎች የማይችሉ መሆኑን ማሳየት ከ110 ሚሊዮን ኢትዮጵያውያን የሚጠበቅ መሆኑን እያሳሰብኩ ውትድርና የስትራቴጂ፣ የታክቲክ፣ የሊደርሺፕ መገኛ የሆነ ውትድርና አድዋን ብናነሳ፣ ካራማራን ብናነሳ፣ ሌሎች ቦታዎችን ብናነሳ የምናወሳቸው ጀግኖች መሪዎች የፈጠረ በመሆኑ የሚናቅ የሚሸሽበት ሳይሆን ወደን ፈቅደን የምንገባበት በመሆኑ መከላከያችንን በማጠናከር የፖሊስ ሰራዊት በማጠናከር እጅ ለእጅ በመያያዝ ለኢትዮጵያ ኩራት ለጠላቶቿ ደግሞ የምታስፈሩ ኃይሎች እንድትሆኑ በዚሁ አጋጣሚ እያሳሰብኩ ኢትዮጵያ በልጆቿ ደምና ላብ በልጆቿ አንድነት እና ጥረት ታፍራና ተከብራ ለዘላለም ትኑር። አመሰግናለሁ። እንኳን ደስ ያለ
So, sorry. I seriously thought, oh man, I won't say this, okay? Some of you, you comments here, like I thought the dude like was using Mengistu Haile Mariam's face here, but anyway, so he's desperate, he's angry, he's shitting his pants. I'm not kidding you. He's talking how social media is destroying him, but he only knows one thing: Facebook. I think he meant to say generally all the social media, but since he can't name them, like he doesn't even know what Twitter is, he doesn't know what Instagram is, he doesn't know what TikTok is. I can go on and on, right? But Facebook, I think that's the only area where they probably show him how to use it. Shows you an idiot, a puppet of Eritrean dictator, is now mentioned in Facebook. And he has no business to bring up into his discussion, into his lies about Adwa. You want to talk about Adwa's hero? This dude is talking about like fighting like a war. It's like he acts as like he's ready to fight like other country. Bro, this is how how dumb you are, Abi Ahmed. You are the most arrogant coward person that is ever born in Ethiopia to lead a country with 110 million people, 110 plus million people. Okay. 500,000 troops weren't enough for you. So now you're begging for all Ethiopians. Why don't you send your wife and yourself to the front line and see how good of a fighter you are? You want a good leader? You talked about how you need good leaders. If you think you're a good leader, why don't you go on the front line? You'll see what happens. They'll send you in body bag. How many more people do you want to send over there to be killed? What are you going to tell all the mothers and fathers out there that they will never see their children back? So while you act that way, while you say that, it is as like you fight in another country, right? You're not fighting another country. You fight in Tigray was part of Ethiopia. You rejected Tigray, and your stupidity. This is what the mercenaries of Eritrea are doing to the civilians in Tigray. I want to show you a clip, like a quick short video here that's posted on Twitter account.
كيلكم سين جزاكم أتوبلوا ميلهم يملسهم. أو أنتم ملشاسي نعو أتوبلوا. لكم حزنا نخوض نمجوار أجوهم. أجوهم شو؟ أوه. عدكم فتحوا لهم نتملش عند أولي مزوكو زلهم. أنا أجوهم. أيكبل عشرة. أفتزاقر قال لهم جرم يقولون. أجوه لا أنا. أجوه بدي أجوه. بزحات خندي نخون سوات وسيلهم. لا أجوه. سمعي. سوداي. أجوه يتوكي. نعسكي.
So think about this. So this is the people that he's calling his enemies. His own people. Well, they were once. Old ladies and children on their back, left to die, crying. Are those people were not Ethiopians? He was talking about Adwa. Yet this is what he's doing to the civilians in Adwa and various cities throughout Ethiopia, throughout Tigray. I'm speechless. So I want to update you guys. So in Tigray, I'm not going to be specific. Okay. So aside from that, here's the deal, guys and ladies and everybody. Tigray Defense Forces are marching towards victory. Okay. Tomorrow, we're going to have the details once we get an official confirmation from Tigray leadership. But right now, we have unconfirmed reports of many of the tanks that Eritrea deployed has been destroyed. Some of them been captured. Okay, so Tagaro, the U.S. went straight to Tigray and told Niftam Abi Ahmed, dare to touch any of our crew who we sent in Tigray. They literally dared him. So they are traveling through Mekelle, to Shire, to Aksum, to various areas of Tigray. And the U.S. literally told Isaias and Abi Ahmed, we dare you. Okay? We dare you. You think they're going to touch them? You think they're going to mess with them? Man. Anyway, I want to say thank you to Tigray Defense Forces. I really want to say thank you to Tagaro. The brave men and women of Tigray on the front lines of fighting over 500,000 troops. They have destroyed many of them. Eritrea just deployed 80,000 troops in the last week. They forced every person in Eritrea 14 and above to go fight in Tigray. What's sad is just a couple days ago, a lot of Eritrean wives of the soldiers went to Mekelle saying, hey, some of our neighbors have some nice clothes that their husbands stole from Tigray and brought it to them. Our husbands didn't bring any to us. We want some too. Where are our husbands? They were told your husbands are dead. Eritrea hardly admits losing soldiers at all. So these wives went on tears and cries for days and returned empty to Eritrea because they didn't have their husbands alive to loot and steal goods, clothing, anything you can think of from Tigray to provide it to them. So I think those of you, Tagaru, I would say focus, continue the pressure and contacting your congressmen, congresswomen, elected officials, continue the Twitter, because you know what? We got him. And somebody asked, how much is TPLF paying you? You know how much my people, our people are paying us? They paying us their sacrifice. They're defending Tigray. And that's exactly what we're doing. We're not like you. We're not looking for money. We're looking for our freedom. Our freedom has no price. Okay? You chase the money. We chase our freedom. Okay? We don't buy our freedom. We defend our freedom. We fight and die for our freedom. That's the spirit of Tagaro. Okay? If you're tough, if you're a good fighter, you take the fight on the battlefield. But when you can't win, when we spank you, when we drop you dead, those who are running away, take out civilians who are defenseless. Because you don't know how to win. You know how to talk, though. That's a sure thing. You know how to steal. But when I say that, to the good Eritreans, we know who you are. We appreciate you. Not we just appreciate you, but you'll be the ones that will be living side by side. You'll be the one to determine Eritrea's fate tomorrow. Not the cowards, not the killers. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend that all Eritreans are killers, because they're not. Tagaro and Eritreans have lived side by side for many generations. The issue isn't civilians in Tigray, civilians in Eritrea. The issue is a democratic leadership in Tigray versus a dictator, coward, old dog in Asmara. Okay? An old dog that always look for a good meat, because Tigray's success in the democratic process and building its infrastructure was the hate that Isaias built among his youth, taking them to Sawa camp, brainwashing them, telling them the reason Eritrea is so poor is because the Tigray leadership wouldn't allow it to be successful. We didn't go to Asmara. We didn't go anywhere near you. You made Eritreans suffer yourself. So for you to shift your false propaganda towards Tagaro, towards Tigray, that's what losers do. Because good leaders lead and let their people succeed. But that's not what happened to Eritrea. Sadly, 30 years of guerrilla fighting, 30 years of dictator, 60 years of failure. That's pretty sad to many of the decent Eritreans who didn't need to suffer the way they have been suffering. So, good Eritreans, wake up. You know, Isaiah once said, ምስ ኣምሓሮ እንኳን ክንነብር ብሓደ ክንልምን ኣይንኽእልን ኢሉ ዝፈከሮ ዘረባ ኤርትራውያን ኣምሓርኛ ስለ ዘይርድአኩም በቲ ቋንቋ ከም ዝርድአኩም ክነግረኩም ኣብዚ መፅኹም ትሕስቡ ትፍክሩ ዘለኹም ኤርትራውያን ኣምሓሮ ንኣኹም ኣይኮነን ኣዕርኽትኩም ኣምሓሮ ጎረቤትኩም ኣይኮነን ኣምሓሮ ድሌቶም እንታይ ንፈልጥ ኢና ዓሰብ ከመይ ጌርና ንወስዳ እዩ ትግርኛ ንዛረብ ትግርኛ ንክልተ ኣቃቲልና ንክልተ መጥፊና ከመይ ጌርና ዓሰብ ንወስድ እዩ ካልእ ኣይኮነ ትርጉሙ so I've been talking in English of course because my program is mostly focused and emphasized in English but I'm also proud to be speaking in Tigrinya so I mix it up I haven't been mixing up tonight but I am mixing it up right now especially to a few Eritreans who are here listening they struggle in Amharic so I'm going to keep it real in Tigrinya so ኣብዘለኹም ኤርትራውያን ዓይንኹም ክፈትዎ እዝንኹም ክፈትዎ ዝኩሉ ኤርትራዊ ብኢሳያስ ተገረፈ ዝሞተ ፍቆደ ባሕሪ ተገረፈ ዘርኡኹም ኣይኮነን ድዩ ደምኩም ኣይኮነን ድዩ ንሕግደፋውያን ኤርትራ ጨቢጦም ከምዚያ ክሕዝዋ ከም ኩዕሾ ንስኻትኩም ከ ናቶም ባርያታት ኮይንኩም ትነብሩ ትደልዩስ ናፅነትኩም ሒዝኩም ዲሞክራሲ ዘለዎ ስነ ስርዓት ዘለዎ መንግስታዊ ዓድኩም ይትከል ኢሳያስ ሞ ይነብር ትፈልጡ ኢኹም ዕላሙ ንስኻ እንታይ ንወዲ ፅባሕ ንጎ ከንግስ እዩ ዕላሙ ካልእ ኣይኮነን ስለዚሁ ባርነትኩም ክትነብሩ ትደልዩ ኤርትራውያን ወይስ ትዋግኡ ኢኹም ወይስ ከም ኣምሓራ ተስኡልኩም በቃ ምፍካር ጥራይኩም ክትገብሩ ደልዩኹም እንታይ ዕላማኹም ተስኡ እባ ኣንስተጃድ የድቅስኩም ንዘለዓለም 30 ዓመት ህዝብኩም ተገሪፉ wake up Eritreans wake up ዝኩሉ ዝፈከረ ኤርትራዊ ናብ ትግራይ መፅኡ እንታይ ኮይኑ ዘሎ ሓሞክሽቲ ኮይኑ ይተርፍ ኣሎ 10 ግዜ ጀነራላትኩም ክሞቱ ተለው ኮሮና ቫይረስ ሒዝዎም ኣብ ትግራይ መፅኦም ናይ ትግራይ ዲፌንስ ፎርስ ኮሮና ቫይረስ ኮይኑዎም ንኤርትራውያን ጀነራላት መን ይቀትልዎም ንኤርትራዊ ጀነራላት ዝኩሉ ዓመት እኮ ብደርገ ይሞቱ 30 ዓመት ተቃሊሶም ዘይሞቱ ኣብ 3 ወርሒ ኣብ ትግራይ መፅኦም ግን ሓሞክሽቲ ኮይኖም ተሪፎም ሓሞክሽቲ ረመፅ እዩ ትግራይ መሬት ዘይ መሬትኩም ክትረግፁ ናብ ጉድጓድ ኢኹም ትኣትዉ ናብ ጉድጓድ ስለዚሁ ዝሰረቕኩምዎ ንብረት በፍንጫኹም ፅባሕ ንጎ ዳብል ከፍለኩም ይዕዳ እዚ ዋዛ ከይመስለኩም ተሰረቀ ንብረት ናይ ትግራይ ተሰሪቁ ኣብ ኣስመራ ይነብርን እዩ እንኳን ተሰረቀ ንብረትማ ንኡ መተካእታ ነቲ ህዝብና ዘሳቀይኹሞ ዋጋ ኣለዎ እዩ ሓያል ዋጋ ኣለዎ እዩ ከይትስሕቱ እዚ ትፍከር ኣይኮነን ተፃሒፉ ተታሒዙ እዩ ማንም ኣዶ ዝነብዐተ ትግራይ ማንም ደም ዝነጠበ ትግራይ ነጢወ ይርስዓን እዩ ድሕሪ እዚ ከም ናይ ቀደም ከይመስለኩም እናተጋሩ ቀንጠብጠበይን እናተጋሩ ኣይንሰርቕን ኣይነጭበርብርን ኣይንሕሱን ናትና ጥራይና እንደሊ ናትና ዝወሰደ ግን ሕጊ ኣለዎ እዩ ንኩሉ ሕጊ ተዘይሉ ብቅፅም ኣሎ እዩ ፅባሕ ንጎ ግን ንህዝቢ ኤርትራ ንጎድእ ኢና ይበልኩም ኣይንጎድእን ኢና እቲ ዘሎ ንብረት ግን ዕፅፊ ካብኡ ክምለስ ንሱ ጥራይ ኣይኮነን ዝምለስ ዕዳ ኮይኑ ተኣትዉ ዘለኹም ልቢ ዘለዎ ኤርትራ እዚኣ ክዛረብ ኣለዎ ንምንታይ እዩ ሻዕብያ ዕዳ ዘእትወና ዘሎ ሕግደፍ ንምንታይ ዕዳ ዘእትወና ኢልኩም ተዛረቡ ትዛረቡ ዘለኹም ይቀኒየልና ክቡራት ኤርትራውያን ዘለኹም ኣብ ዳያስፖራ ሰላማዊ ሰልፊ ትገብሩ ዘለኹም መፅኹም ምሳን ኣሕዋት ኮይንኩም ዘለኹም ንሃትኩም ሕውነት ኣይንርስዖን ኢና ኣይንግንፅሎን ኢና እውን ንሕና ድማ ኣይንክሕድን እኮ ዝክሕድ ትግራዋይ ብዙሕ ልምዲ ናይ ክሕደት ኣይተምሃርና ንሕና እዚ ግን ክንስሓት የብልና ተጋሩ ንሕና መንነትና ኣፅኒዕኹምና ኢኹም ብክፍኣትኩም ብተንኮልኩም ብተጋብርኩም ንተጋሩማ ኣስጢምኩምና ኢኹም መስመር ናይ መጨረሻ ናብ ሓደ መስመር እትኹምና ኢኹም ንድሕሪ ድማ ኣይንብልን መድሕር ሓደ ኣምሓራ እዩ ኣምሓሩ ንሃትኩም ዕርክቲ መሲሎም ይዛረብኩም ኣለዎ ኣይኮነን ፅባሕ ንጎኸ ንኣኹም ረጊፆም ንባሕሪ መዓዝ እዩ ካልእ ኣይኮነን ንስኻትኩም እውን እዚ ኣይርድአኩምን ምክንያቱ ብሳይኮሎጂ ብጣልያን ጭንቅላት ተባላሸወ ሒዝ እንደገና ንተጋረጥ ፊና ነምሓሩ ክነሽንፊና ኢትዮጵያ በታቴና ትግራይ ቆሪስና ከምንጀራ ክንወስዳ ኢና መሬትና እዩ ነይሩ ዕላማ ኣይኮነ ኣኻ ጊመል ኣምፅኹም ኣኻ ክሰርኩ ዘይተሓፍሩ ዝገርም እኮ እዩ ዝገርም እዩ ናይ ብሓቂ ውርደተኛታት እዮም ኣብዚ መፅኹም ከዓ ክትማጎቱ ክትፃረፉ ጎይታና እዩ ክትብሉ ሰጥ ኮይሎም ተማምሓሩ ዝርኢኹሞ እታ ትግርኛ ምእቶም ዝሰርክዋ እቶም ኤርትራውያን ክናባይዳ ህልም በሉ ሂዚ ናባይዳ ደቀሱ መሲያትኩም ዶ ሶበር ዲኹም ንምዃኑ ብስሩ ሰካራም እውን እኮ ተወሰነ ሰዓታት ሰኺሩ ተወሰነ ሰዓታት ደቂሱ ምስ ተሰብ እኮ ሶበር ክኸውን እዩ ይነቅሕ እኮ እዩ ካብቲ ስኽራኑ ንስኻትኩም ጋና ኢኹም ትሕዝን እዩ ናይ መጨረሻ ትዝሕዝን ግን እቲ ታራ ድኻ ሰብ ብግዳይታ እናተገደደ ንዓተቃለስ ኢልካ ናብ ሓዊ ተእትውዎ ዘለኹም ንሱ ብጣዕሚ ይሕዝን ናይ መጨረሻ ይሕዝን ንሱ ክንደይ ድልየት ዘይብሉ ችሎት ዘይብሉ ኤርትራዊ ኣብ ትግራይ እናመፀ ከላሽን ተሸኪሙ ዝመውት ዘሎ ህዝቢ ኤርትራ ይሕዝን እዩ ንዙ ኢልኩም ግን ኤርትራውያን ዘይረብሕ ባስባስ ከልቢ ኢሳያስ ከም ኣቦኹም ክተኽብርዎ ይገርመና ትግራይ ኪሮስ ጥያቄ መብት እዩ why do I care about Eritrea actually ዛዕባ ኤርትራ ኣይኮነን ኬር ዝገብር ዘለኹ ኣነ ኤርትራ ዝግፍዑ ዝሰርሑ ህዝብና ዝሰረቆ ንብረት ካብ ትግራይ ከመይ ገይሮም ዕዳ ከም ዝኾኖም እየ ዘርድኦም ዘለኹ ነቶም ፀማማት ጥዑያት ግን ኣለውና እዮም ስለዚ ኣነ ናይ ኤርትራ ዘእትወን ነገር የብለን እየ ናይ ትግራይ ግን የእትወኒ እዩ ናይ ትግራይ ስለ ዘእትወኒ ግን ነቶም በስባሳት ነቶም ለያቡ ዕዳ ዝኣትዎ ዘለው እቲ ዝወረስዎ ንብረት ጥራይ ኣይኮነን እቲ ተሳቃይ ህዝብና ዋጋ ኣለዎ እዩ ከቢድ ዋጋ እዚ ንክፈልጡ እየ ትዘረባ ዝዛረቡ ዘለኹ ዝሓወይ ወይም ዝሓፍተይ ትግራይ ኪሮስ ወዲ ተባዕታይ ድዩ ጓል ኣንስተይቲ ስለ ዘይፈልጥ በቃ እዚ ስለ እዚ እየ ታመርሲ that's why ንኤርትራ ተገዲሰ ኣይኮነን ንህዝበይ ንትግራይ ተገዲሰ እየ ዝዛረቡ ዘለኹ ዝዘረባ so anyway ናይ ትግራይ መከላከይ ዝሰርሑ ዘሎ ዓወታት እቲ መልእኽትታት ንመፀና ዘሎ ፅሕፈት ናይ መጨረሻ ዘኹርዕ ዝሕብን ነገራት እዩ ግን ንግዚኡ ሓደራ እዚኡ ናብ ደገ ተውፅልና ተባሂሉ እቲ መልእኽቲ ስለመፅኡ ዘሎ ብድፍኑ ኢና እየ ዝዛረበኩም ዘለኹ ናይ መንግስቲ ኣሜሪካ ከዓ እንታይ ይሰርሕ ከም ዘሎ ክንሪኦ ኢና ሂዚ እቲ ናይ ረዳእታ ዝረድእ ስፔሲፊክ ናይ ኣሜሪካ ተሰደደ ናብ ትግራይ ኣማን ብኣማን ከም ዝኣተወ ተረጋጊፁ ከም ዘሎ እዚኡ መብዛሕትኩም ፈሊጥኩም ኢኹም ስለዚሁ ሪፒት ክኾነኩም ኣሎ ማለት እዩ ኣንቱም ዘይሰማዕኹም ኣሕዋት ግን እዚኡ ትክክለኛ በቃ ኣትዩ ከም ዘሎ ኣሜሪካ ከዓ ማንም ንሃትና ዘእተናዮ ንርዳእታ ዝሕግዝ ኢልና ዘእተናዮ መብት ካብ ኢትዮጵያስ በቃ ኣይንሓትትና ሕቶ ስቑ ኢሉ ኣትዮም ከይዶም ክሕግዝ እዮም ንተጨቁን ዘሎ ህዝቢ ትግራይ ኢሎም ሰይደሞም ኣትዮም ኣለው እዮም ንሓደ ማንም ተንክፉ ጥራይ ተባሂሎም ተነጊሮም እዮም 72 ሰዓት ዝተዋሃቦም ለማዓንቲ ወዲቆ ኣሎ እዩ ንሱ ፅባሕ ንጎ እንታይ ክመፅእ ግን መጠየቕቱ ናይ ኣሜሪካ መንግስቲ ባዕሉ መልሶ ኣለዎ እዩ ስለዚሁ እዚ ንሕና ተጋሩ ከመይ ገይሩ እዩ መንግስቲ ኣሜሪካ ኣብዚ በፂሑ ዘሎ ናይ ተጋሩ ስረይ ናይ ተጋሩ መንነትና ብስነ ስርዓት ብሕሰት ብምጭብራር ዘይኮነማ ብስነ ስርዓት ንመንግስትና ኣሜሪካ ኣስተኻኺልናዮ ኣለና ኢና ኣሜሪካ ክመርሕ ንዓለም ገይርናዮ ኣለና ኢና ስለዚሁ ተጋሩ ኣብ ኣሜሪካ በተለይ ዘለኹም ተጋሩ እዚሁ ኣብፂሕኩሞ ዝኒኹም ናይ ኣሜሪካ መንግስቲ بطعمي كتكورعوا لكم كتحقوس لكم جن سراحهم كترسعوا لكم سراحنا كنرسع بلنا أو يوروب زلكم أحواتنا أو أستراليا زلكم أحواتنا أو كندا زلكم أحواتنا أو عالم ملء زلكم أحواتنا أو ميدل إيست زلكم أحواتنا أيكم دفوا نسخاتكم ون نا أمريكا نحنا أسمعنا لنا عينا نسخاتكم ون أي تسمعون يكون كتسمعكم تسمعوا ملكم يكم تجراي كيروس كاب يوكي يبلن الله يعني اللي يحاوي مكتال كنا من وخان كام جلاسكا thank you very much نا أنا يا تامر سهاو خاز حاوي ني أترى تجدي سيكونن ناتي ذكروا الحسابي عاب تجرا هيزوي عاب تجرا مريتي كون لعلي I don't care ناي it doesn't matter بقى ناي إثيوبيا أنت أيا إرتانت أتكون السنة وعالميو ناي وعالم هزبي دلهم يقولوا بقى أنا جن توقسوا علاماي سيرفسين أي ساعتي نهاجري نتجراي هاجري تجراي كلكم تلقوا هاجري تجراي رأيكم مني بدحري تجول بانديرها تري والله ما يكونن እንደገና خير تري والله مدام أنا كل نسخاتكم تجارب تسمى خريجكم ما إن نوصل كيف تجراي زي بانديرها زي بالكا تجراي يكون كان بونت كلكم أنا بقى ما إنم تجراي ببز حالف كوا بوتان عتي ناي تجراي بانديرا ناي تجراي كوفيا ناي تجراي تاي ما هو لكم بقى تجراي بسرس أنا تاي لكم شروط يو رأيكم مدام حوادي زيو نايك أرس مننت نازجلسي زيك هاجرنا تجراي ما هاجريا ري ولا هم زيو رأي وما زقونجو رأيكم ما رأيكم مدام حوادي زي بانديرا زيو كا أبي بتعمل ري ولا هم ده مدام حوادي نفس وقف تجراي خاو حركة يتجز حنت نجار خاو لا يابا خو يتجز حنت نجار زي بانديرا هات جن خاو تجارو حزوه بانديرانا أي حنا خخوب زلوا كلهم نفس وقف تجار حواتي كنت حزر لكم بقى نتجرايسي أفريقنا يعني عالم الحريز قل كل جزء بقى بانديرانا حزوه بقى حزوه عم دك أشيخهم عم كيناهم أكل بوتا بانديرانا حزوه لوس أنجلوس موضوع قدام سلامات سفر ليو مسئية بانديرا تلهم أنا عليهم ألنيو هيزخ مسئية أو نراخب أف LA سلازيو لك عدي أيهم بقى خورعنا عنا بقاهم تجراينا تعوتيا إذا بانديرا ناجن حازوه بقى زيو مسحنا كل جزية أغلبنا أقولنا بانديرانا زخر عنا أيو سلازيو زروان يحولكم حسر بلا خقروز حاسوكوا موكيرو يعني اللي زم حواتي كبراتنا أخاتكم هزو تجراين عوت مسانا خمس خواني هزو تجراي كم زعوت إياك أولنا نحن عقن حرحيزي بانديرانا نا إثيوبيا بانديرا نارجسنا نا تجراي بانديرا حفنا بلنا أنا نبر نحنا تزرجت أن هاجر تزرجت أن بانديرا خرجسيو ناتنا بانديرا نا تجراينا جن أي رجسن كل جزية زيو عوتنا زيو مننتنا زيو خان خبرنا تجارو إنا سلازيو أب لوس أنجلوس تموسو سلامة سلف حواتي تجارو أيهم بقى بانديرا زدليهم هيدا مسئية ماسنجر لآخر لي تدليهم تقرأك تعواتيا تخكليو موسيقى تسمعون تدليهم نيشتي موسيقى خفتركم مخيلية otherwise تياك أزلوو تياك أطيقو انترازي لقن ياو إذا حادرة ناي تقرأي بانديراتات بليز أنا بؤونت يزنقركم حواتي بؤونت بليز بانديراتات زيو فيديو شير كوركم أمو زم جوزات فاتنا
يغبدو زحدر عندنا تزمتا عبيرو زور سبالك تديا سبني زبون نخبري هزبتان سبني زبون زي فتو تلعان سبالك تديا
سبني زبو نشمل زي صدق سبني زبو بالنواي زي قدر علقي سب علقي تقرأي علقي علقي سب علقي ريمي علقي تقرأي سب علقي ريمي سب علقي عدي سب علقي تقرأي سب علقي دقتاي كباري وش تفريسو أبي كيسان يغمدوز حد عنده نات زمتا عبيروز ورا سبني زبون نخبري هزبتان سبني زبون زي فتوت الآن سبني زبون نشمل زي صدق سبني زبون بالنواي زي قدر علقي سب علقي تقرأي علقي علقي سب علقي ريمي علقي تقرأي سب علقي ريمي سب علقي عدي سب علقي تقرأي سب علقي
እና يغني anyway እዚሁ ዘረኹም ሙዚቃ ትግራይ ሰበለኪ እናተባሃለ እቶም መንበስታ ጅግናታት ተጋደልትና ምስ ዕጥቆም ንትግራይ ዝሕልዋ ዘለው ንኣቶም ክብረት ይሃበና ጀጋኑ ኣሕዋትና ኣያታትና ሰርሕዎ ዘለው ስራሕ ንትግራይ ኢሎም ዓወታት ስራሕ ዘሎ ግን ዘርዚርና ጽባሕ እንታይ ከም ተሰርሐ ትግራይ ክንነግረኩም ኢና ክነቅርበልኩም ኢና ሒዚ ግን እቲ ሓደ ሓበሬታ ዝመፀና ዘሎ ተቀላሪንኩም ኣይተውፅዎ ተባሂልና ሓበሬታ ስለ ተዋሂብና ዘሎ ብድፍኑ ግን መከላከያ ትግራይ ንጸላኢ ሻዕብያ በተለይ እስካብ 80,000 ሓድሽ ወታደር ኢሉ ዘእተዎም ሂዚ ምንም ዘይፈልጡ መብዛሕቶም ሓረስቶት እዮም ነይሮም እናተደዓኹ ታንኮም እናተቃፀላ እናተወረሳ ብናይ መከላከያ ትግራይ እየን ዝርከባ ዘለዋ እዚዩ ክትርስዑ ብልኩም ኣሕዋት ተጋሩ እቲ ትንታኒ እንታይ እዩ ካሊእ ጥያቄ እዩ ግን ትግልጽ ክነግረኩም ኣበይ ከተማታት ይድርዖሙ ከም ዘለው ይድቆስ ከም ዘለው ሒዚ ጽባሕ ሆፍሊ እዚ ኢንፎርሜሽን ብደንቢ ርግፀኛ ዘለዎ ምስኮነ ክነግረኩም ኢና ግን ሒዚ ይደሃኹ እዮም ዘለው ይርገፁ እዮም ዘለው ታንክታቶም ሓንቲ ታንክ እያ ባይዘ ወይ ምሊጣላ ተደልይኹም ናይ ብሓቂ ትፈልጡ ተደልይኹም ሓንቲ ታንክ ምሊጣላ እያ ናይ ሻዕብያ ሃዲማ ዝኸደት ተምናተና ተም ጀጋኑ ተርከብዋ ሓንቲ ምሊጣላ እያ ተረፋ ግን ድሂኾም ዝሓዝወን it's okay ስንቂ ካሊእ ትረፍማ ብጥሜት እንቀተሎም ኢሉ ኢሳያስ ዘይረብሕ ሓሲብዎ ዝነበረ ናይ በዓሎም ስንቂ ዘምፅዎ ብሓይሊ ኣትዮም እናድሃኹ ወሲዶም እዮም ጥቀሙን ዘለው ናተና ጀጋኑ ድሕሪ ዚ ክትፈልጡ ተደልዮም ናይ በዓሎም ስንቂ ናይ ኣምሓራ ይመፅእ እቱ ኢሎም ሕንቕ ኣቢሎም ኣርግፍ ኣቢሎም ናይ በዓሎም ስንቂ ናይ በዓሎም ናይ ዕጥቂ ንበዓሎም ዕጥቂ ዝበለፀ መሳርዓት ሒዚ እናሕደግና ናይ በዓሎም ብናይ ትግራይ መከላከያ ካብኦም እናሕደግና እዮም ኤርትራዊ እንታይ ኢሉ ሰምዑሞ ዶ ብጭርሻ ሓሲበ ነይረ ግን ሞርት መፀለኹም ይረ ኣለኹ እንታይ ኢሉ ኣነ በቃ ሓላፊ ኮይነ ዝኩሉ ውግእ እናካየድኩ ልዩ ሃይል ማለት ናይ ትግራይ ጠንካራ ዝበሃል ተዋጋእቲ ዘለው ልዩ ሃይል እዮም ዝበሃሉ ልዩ ሃይል ርኤ ስለ ዘይፈልጥ ልዩ ሃይል ርኤ ንክመውት ወሲነ እየ ኢሉ ጥራይ ግን ክርኢ ደልየ ኣለኹ ብምንታይ ኣትዮም ይቆትሉና ብምንታይ ይወፁ ርኢናዮም ኣይንፈልጥ ዝኩሉ ስልጣን ሒዘ ዝኩሉ ውግእ ካይደ ከም ትግራይ ልዩ ሓይሊ ዝበሃል መከላከያ ርኤ ኣይፈልጥን ብሂወተይ ኢሉ እዚ ናተይ ቃል ኣይኮነን ኤርትራዊ ዝበለ እዩ ኤርትራዊ ክንደይ ግዜ ውግእ ዘካየደ ኤርትራዊ ናይ ትግራይ ልዩ ሓይል ብምንታይ እዩ ዝኣቱ ብምንታይ እዩ ዝወፅእ ኢሉ ማዕሮ ተዛረበሉ ኤርትራዊ ጀነራል እዩ እዚ ግን ንኣና ኣታሽሙ እዩ ባይዘወይ እዚ ጅግንነት እዚ እዩ ስለ ብኣፍና ዝበልና ኣይኮነን ናትና ተጋሩ ብዙ ኣይንጠራጠርና ባይዘወይ ንበስባሳት ድማ ስቆይና እናበልና ክንነብር ኣይንደልና ግን ንኣና ክረግፅ ዝመፀ ንኣና ከሽንፍ ዝመፀ ተይበፅሖ ኢና ንሽንድዎ ነውድቆ ውግእ እኮ ብበዝሒ እኮ ኣይኮነን ብበዝሒ እኮ መፅኦምና ዘይሓዝዎ ብረት እኮ ይነበረ ዘይሓዝዎን ታንክታት እኮ ይነበረ ዘየምፅዎ ወታደር እኮ ይነበረ by the way ሓደ ሚኢቲ ናይ ትግራይ መከላከይ ሓደ ሚኢቲ ናይ ትግራይ መከላከይ እስካብ 2,300 ናይ ፀላኢ ወራር ሓይሊ ተዋጊኡ እዩ ሓደ ሚኢቲ ሕሰቡ ድማ ሓደ ሚኢቲ ናይ ትግራይ መከላከይ ካብ 2 እስካብ 3,000 ናይ ወራር ሓይሊ ወታደር ተዋጊኡ እዩ ኣብቲ መጀመርታማ ሓደ ሚኢቲ ናይ ትግራይ መከላከይ 5,000 ዝኣክል ናይ ወራር ሓይሊ ተዋጊኡ ሕዚ ግን ተዳኺሞም እዘን 80,000 ኣምፂዎን ዘሎ ሻዕብያ ሒዚ ሓደ ሚኢቲ ናይ ትግራይ 1,000 ናይ ሻዕብያ ኣይትውግእ ዝኒሄ ዝካየድ ዘሎ ይድቆስ እዮም ካ ዘለዉ ንሱ እዩ ካ እቲ ጀነራል ናይ ኤርትራ እዞም ልዩ ሓይል ናይ ትግራይ ሲ ኣበ እዮም ዝነብሩ ብምንታይ ይወፁ ብምንታይ ይኣትዉ ክትኩስ እኮ ይንሪኦምን ናትና ግን ጥይት መፅኡ ክውቅዕ ክወድቁ ክመቱ ኢና ንርኢ እዚ ስንታይ እዩ በቃ ካበ እዮም ተማሂሮም ካበ እዮም ኮይኖም ዝትኩስናስ ክንሪኦም ወይ ንኽእል ምሱ በበይ ኣትዮም በበይ ወፅኦም ሲ ልዩ ሓይልስ ንሽሙ ኢና እምበር መፅኡ ያ ክበሃል ተሎ ከዓ ካልእ ትረፍ ብድንጋፄ ሽፈራት መኪና ዝሓዙ ተገምጢለ ናብ ገደል ዝኣተዋ ኣለዋ ሒዚ ደምቀለ ናይ ኤርትራ ባይዘወይ ሓደ ሽፈር ልዩ ሓይሊ ተተኪሱ ልዩ ሓይሊ ተራእዮም ዝተባሃለ ተይሓሰቦ ብድንጋፄ ናብ ገደል ኣትያ ቅድሚ ሒዚ ኣምሓሩ ከምኡ ገይርና ሓደ ኣምሓራይ ከምኡ ገይሩ እዩ ባይዘወይ ናይ ሒዚ 2 ወርሒ ገለ ዝኸውን እዚ ግን ሒዚ ኣብዚ ቀረባ ግዜ ሻዕብያ ልዩ ሓይሊ ምስ ተባሃለ መብዛሕትኡ ግዜ ዝዋግኡ ምስ ሚሊሻ ዝበሃል ናይ ትግራይ እዩ ሒዚ ግን ልዩ ሓይሊ ምስ ተባሃለ በቃ ልዩ ሓይሊ ማለት በቃ ዝሓዝዎ ብረት ሒዞም ታንክ ሒዞም እኮ እዮም በቃ ሃዲሞም ክኸዱ ታንከም ሓንቲ ዘምለጠት እንዳጋጣም ኮይኑ ምክንያቱ ትቁፅሩ ሪኢኹሞ ትፈልጡ ኢኹም ፍልሖ እዮም ፃፀታት እዮም ከዓ መገደም በቃ ከም ፃፀ እዮም በቃ ሓደ ዝመርሖም ብኣዮም ዝክትካተሉ ናትና ግን ዕላማ ኣለዎ ናትና ልዩ ሓይሊ ናትና መከላከይ ሃገሩ እዩ ዝሕሉ ዘሎ ዓዲ ሃገር ከይዱ ኣይወረርን ዘሎ ስለ ንሱ እዩ ካ ዘጥቅዕ ዘሎ ናትና መከላከይ ስለ ንሱ እዩ ዘሽንፍ ዘሎ ተረዲእኩሞ ኣሕዋተይ 2-3 መዓልቲ ገይረ ኣለኹ ካብ ዝመፅእ ናብዚ ጆይን ገይረ ኤኒዌይ ኣብዴት እና ፎሎ ኣብ ካብ ዝገብረኩም ኣብዲስ ከይደ ቀኒየ ክምለስ ዘለኹ ፍላይተይ ዘንጊዐ ነይረ ዳስ ዋይ ብራዘር ጀፍ ኣብ ደንቨር ኮሎራዶ ኣግዲሰ ናብ ስቱድዮ ከይደ ሃንግኣውት ገይርና ኢንተርቪው ገይርና እና ብሓፂር ታክለኩም እየ ኣብ ካሊፎርኒያ ትመፁ ናብ ሎስ አንጀለስ ክመፅእ እየ ክንራኸብ ኢና ብራዘር ደኒ ካብ ዳለስ ሪእካ ኣለኹ እየ ክንራኸብ ኢና ብሓደ ንክንቅነብ LA so I'll look forward to seeing you there any of you coming to LA holler cyber power Tigray live ከም ሓላልፎ እየ ካብ ኤለ ኮይነ mostly ግን you guys know ኣነ ብእንግሊዝኛ ብራድካስት ዝገብሮ ሓደ ኢኹም ግን ትግርኛ ሕውስ ኣብሎ ትብልኒ መብዛሕትኡ ግዜ ንሱ ኢለ እየ መጨረሻ ቅድሚ ምዕፃወይ ትግርኛ ሕውስ የብለላ ብበዝሒ ከዓ ምፅእ ትብሉ ስለ ዝናፍቐኩም እየ ከዓ በቃ ንውሕ ዘብላ ዘለኹ እምበር መውሰድ እቲ ፕሮግራም ሕፅር እናበልኩ ንክጭርሾ እዩ ነይሩ ዕላማ ግን ያው እቲ ኣፕዴት ንምግባር ሓደ ኢኹም ዝንግዕ ኢልኩም ዝኣተኹም እንዳጋጣሚ ኣብ ሓረ ቦታ ከዓ ንጎ ስለ ዘሎ ሒዚ ዝትስኡ ሰባትም ስለ ዘለውና ናይ ሎማዓንቲ ዝነበረ መሽረፈት ኣሕመድ ንኢትዮጵያ ملؤ نعو نقول قلنا بالسوشيال ميديا يودونا لو تشنفنا عنا نعو نعو النافذة خلمن يترى إذا መንግስቲ ሃይለ ማርያም ዝገበሮ እዩ መንግስቲ ሃይለ ማርያም መጨረሻ ካብ ስልጣን ክባረር ተሎ ከምኡ ገይሩ እዩ ኩልኻ ኢትዮጵያ ህዝብ ሙሉእኻ ተቃለስን ዓይሉ ኣውጅዎ ነይሩ እዩ ኣብይ ኣሕመድ እውን ከማይ ኣውጅ ዘሎ ሒዚ ኩልኹም ንዑ ተዋግኡ ኢልዎ መንፈስ ሳም ኣምሓራ ይህዋጋ ኣብ እየም ከም ኣምሓራ ተዋግኦም ኣሸኒፎም ይፈልጡ ኣብ ምንታይ ቃልሲ ዓድዋ ዓድዋ ይብሉና ብሱር ሽሞ ይተልዕልዎ ዓድዋ ኣይ ብሱር ሳይምልከተኩምን በቃ ኣይነርግጾኩም እና ደህና ድሕራይዝና ዓድዋ ስለዚሁ ተጋሩ ኣየኹም ኣዮና ዓድና ድማ ኣቲና ብሓደ ኣብ መቐለ ከተማ ክንዕንድር ኢና ብሓደ ኣየኹም ኣሕዋት ትመጽእ እዩ ነገር እዚ I cannot wait actually I cannot wait to go help our people to go celebrate with our people in Mekelle. This will be over soon before you guys know it. This will end. So at the end of the day, Tagaru have united unlike before. Unlike before. This is just the best thing in a way for Tagaru. I mean, what more do we need to even have a doubt or a question whether or not Tigray would ever remain part of Ethiopia? Somebody, before I go off, before I end this segment, somebody give me a reason why Tigray should ever be part of Ethiopia. Why I should ever touch Ethiopian flag. Why? Give me a reason, please, before I go. Because I'm in love with this. Okay, I'm in love with this. So give me a reason. Yep, I agree. Amira Sage, can't wait to celebrate. Yep, I can't wait either. That's what I'm saying, man. You guys get everything. Get all your flag, Tigray flag, man. You should have multiple of them. Okay? This is what's making the Amhara cry right now because they have never seen this many flag around. So now they're just like, oh my gosh, where are all this Tagaro coming from? We are everywhere. So I think at the end of the day, we are going to march into Mekelle together. So keep the fight. Keep the good fight that you're doing. Tagaro, you're amazing. Love you guys. Miss you these last few days. I haven't been out talking. So I'd like to end the segment by saying, Dahan wa'alu, dahan hadaru, na ayona, izom hadhade, masya mamongona khazorgu, masya mamongona hadhan nagar ksor huzmu kurzallu, salatana, naom, taytagadasna, tatankiana, عرس بعسنا نتحللنا عرس بعسنا نتخابرنا تجارو دهر حيزي نحنا لك ندحيت زبلنا مجد سلازي اللي أيهم أيونا إزياء عاوتنا تمثل الأيام كروا جزية تجري ومكالك يسر حزل التاريخ تاريخ شيء مسلوكم إن إسكامنا الرخب دحان كون زم حواتي يغني اللي كبرتي هذا اللي